This is the ODrive Micro Motor Driver. You may have seen creators like Aeed Musa make robot that glides like an ice skater using these ODrive Micros as well. I will show you how to mount your encoder magnet, calibrate your ODrive Micro, and control them using the Web GUI. If you're new here, make sure to check out the links in the video description and subscribe to learn more robotics and AI. So I was fortunate enough to get these ODrive Micros. They're currently on pre-order, so you can order them now and you'll get them sometime after March. So when you do buy them, you're gonna get this little pack that comes with it. This little pack has the connectors that you can solder on, and there's also a little magnet that comes with it. So this magnet is good if you plan on using the onboard encoder, which I will be going over in this video. So here's the motor and encoder assembly that I'll be going over. This motor was a motor from CubeMars. It's the GL40 16-volt gimbal system motor KV70. So here we're looking at the drawing for the motor. The part that we need to care about is right here. This is the M2.5. There's going to be 4 holes here. So these are the threaded holes that we're going to mount our encoder board mounting plate on there. We're going to have an adapter that will connect the 2 pieces together. And we notice that there's a 3-phase wiring pad here that we're going to try to avoid. And then the center hole here, we see this part is going to be about 8 millimeters. So this is going to be the part, we're going to have a shaft that goes through this 8 millimeter hole here to hold on to the magnet. Of course, this is going to be the framework that you want to use to apply it to the specific motor that you have. So we're just using this motor as an example. And we also see there's some specifications for these motors. This part we don't need for the assembly, but we'll need later on when we do the calibration in the Web GUI. So notice this is a 16-volt motor, and then we know that the kV here is 63.5, and we have the phase-to-phase resistance. So here, this is the ODrive Micro. The part that we need to care about is the distance between these mounting holes, which is 26 millimeters. And then we know that this uses M3 screw holes here that you see there's 4 of them, right? So here is a top view. What I've done here is I purposely clocked the encoder board just so that I have access to these screw holes. And next, you can see this is the pink part. This is the adapter piece that I'm connecting my motor driver to my motor. And here you can see this is the view of how I'm mounting my magnet. This green piece here, I'm pressing in my magnet right here, and then I'm pressing the green piece inside of my motor. So if we take a closer look at how we mount the magnet, you're going to see this magnet in gray, and this green shaft, we have a hole for it. I'm using a 3-point contact design here so that it's easy to press fit without having any issues with interference, especially because I'm 3D printing this. And then also you can see the shaft that goes into the motor. I'm also using a similar concept with a 3-point contact. I'm just using a triangle here. And this through hole here is in case I want to push out the magnet later on to reuse it in a different design. So when it's inserted inside of the motor, you're going to see this is going to look like this with only 3 points of contact. And again, that's for easy insertion for 3D printed parts. So now we're going to go over how to do the electrical connections for the ODrive Micro and your motor. So we're not going to use everything here because we're only doing calibration. So the only part that we need is this USB-C port here up on the top left. And then the bottom part that has the DC plus and minus and ABC for the motor. So here you see this is the pinout for the motor, ABC. One thing to note is that the ABC connections can be in any order, so don't worry about if you get the wires in different places as long as you have all 3 going to ABC. And here you can see this is a full schematic of how everything is laid out. What I have done is I have my PC using a USB isolator. This USB isolator has a USB-A to USB-C connected to the ODrive. And here on the bottom, you see my motor is connected to ABC. And then I have a power supply that's connected to the DC plus and DC minus. I'm going to be setting it to 16 volts here because that's the specifications for my motor. Okay, so now let's move on to the calibration step. To start the calibration, just connect the USB cable to your PC and you're going to see this pop up right here that says ODrive Micro detected. Go ahead and click on it, then you're going to see this window pop up. When you see this window pop up, you're going to see on the bottom that says connect ODrive and click here. Go ahead and click on that, then you're going to see this pop up. GUI ODriveRobotics.com wants to connect, choose the ODrive micro and click on connect. Once you do that, you're going to see something like this show up. So this is the part where you want to configure your over voltage trip level and your under voltage. Here I've set it to 20 and 6. Then this next tab is going to allow you to set your motor parameters here. So I'm using other motors. If you chose a motor that came from their shop, you could choose one on top. But for me, it's a custom motor. So go ahead and choose the settings here. Here I have a gimbal. The phase resistance is 4.5, pole pairs of 14, kV is 63.5. My current limit, I set it to 3.3. My motor calip current is 1, my motor calip voltage is 4.5, and the lock-in spin current is 1. So regarding the calibration max voltage, this is what it says in the document. It says that this should be set to less than 0.5 times the V bus voltage, but high enough to satisfy V equals IR during motor calibration, where I is the configuration calibration current and R is the config phase resistance. So go ahead and make sure that this relationship holds. You may have to play around with the numbers a little bit until it doesn't error out. The next part is to select your encoder. Here I'm using the onboard encoder, so go ahead and click on that, then hit next. It's going to take you to this page here for the control mode. I'm just setting this thing by default. I didn't really change this, but if you have specific requirements, you could change this part. Next up, we have the interface. I'm going to click CAN bus because I'll use CAN bus later on. But most of this stuff I've left alone. You could set the node ID if you have different devices so you can identify which device you're working with. And here you can see this is the final step. What you want to do is go through steps 1 through 6, and then you should be good and ready to go. So during the calibration stage, I'm going to show you how that looks like. So during the calibration phase, you're going to see the green light blinking and the motor is going to be spinning back and forth. Once it's done spinning and calibrating, you're going to see a blue light, which means it's done. So once you're done calibrating, you'll see these plots here. Up on top, you see the control mode. There's going to be position, velocity, and torque. To start any of these modes, you could go ahead and click on the power button. But before you can have motion that's smooth enough, you have to tune your parameters here. So there's some position gain, velocity gain, and velocity integrator gain that you have to set. So it's going to be a little bit of trial and error to get the exact performance you want. Right now, I just did a rough test to get a quick motion going because typically you want to have a step response and see how that looks like. But here you can see that this is a general guideline. You could start with these instructions here, and then you could follow the steps 1 through 7. It says you could set the velocity integrator gain to 0, make sure you have a stable system. If not, decrease all the gains until you have one, and then increase velocity gain by 30% per iteration. Back down velocity gain to 50% of the vibrating value, increase position gain by around 30% per iteration until you see some overshoot, back down position gain until you do not have overshoot anymore. The integrator gain can be set to 0.5 times bandwidth times velocity gain. So these are just some tips you can do, but every motor is going to be a little bit different. So you're going to have to see how the performance is after you tune it to see if it meets your needs. So this one right here, I'm just running in constant velocity. And this one here, I'm just running in constant torque, and I'm trying to stop it with my finger by squeezing on the motor. Here, none of the modes are active. I'm just purely backdriving the motor, and you can see the encoder value in the back updating. All right, so if you found this video helpful, give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.